James Byron Dean. James Dean was born on February 8, 1931 in Marion, Indiana, to Mildred Mary Wilson and Winton A. Dean, a farmer turned dental technician. His mother died when Dean was 9, and he was subsequently raised on a farm by his aunt and uncle in Fairmount, Indiana. After grade school, he moved to New York to pursue his dream of acting. He received rave reviews for his work as the blackmailing Arab boy in the New York production of Guide's The Immoralist, good enough to earn him a trip to Hollywood. His early film efforts were strictly small roles, a sailor in the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis overly frantic musical comedy Sailor Beware 1952, a GI in Samuel Fuller's moody study of a platoon in the Korean War, Fixed Bayonets, 1951, and a youth in the Piper Laurie Rock Hudson comedy Has Anybody Seen My Gal, 1952. He had major roles in only three movies. In the Elia Kazan production of John Steinbeck's East of Eden 1955, he played Cal Trask, the bad brother who could not force affection from his stiff-necked father. His true starring role, the one which fixed his image forever in American culture, was that of the brooding red-jacketed teenager Jim Stark in Nicholas Ray's Rebel Without a Cause 1955. George Stevens' filming of Edna's Ferber's Giant 1956, in which he played the nonconforming Cohan jet ring who strikes it rich when he discovers oil, was just coming to a close when Dean, driving his Porsche Spider race car, collided with another car while on the road near Colame, California on September 13th, 1955. He had received a speeding ticket just 2 hours before. At age 24, James Dean was killed almost immediately from the impact from a broken neck. His very brief career, violent death, and highly publicized funeral transformed him into a cult object of apparently timeless fascination. He also had no children. His trademarks: he frequently played angry youth, squinty, sleepy blue eyes. He had light brown hair greased back, impulsive emotional acting style, and known for playing well-meaning but deeply troubled characters. He is the only actor in history to receive more than one Oscar nomination. He was terribly nearsighted and wore thick glasses when not on the screen. He was issued a speeding ticket only 2 hours and 15 minutes before his fatal accident. On the night Dean was killed, four of his co-stars, Sal Mineo, Natalie Wood, Nick Adams, and Richard Davalos, were all having dinner together in New York. The conversation turned to Dean, his new Porsche, and a speculation that his speeding would cause him to have an accident during the coming year. He met Alec Guinness in Hollywood while the actor was filming The Swan 1956. Guinness later recalled that when Dean showed him his newly bought Porsche, he advised him to get rid of that car, or you'll be dead in a week. Unfortunately, Guinness's advice turned out right. Dean said on numerous occasions that he did not expect to live past age 30. He was known to have loved animals as he spoke fondly of being raised around cows, pigs, and chickens when he was young. He also was given a Siamese kitten named Marcus as gift by Elizabeth Taylor. Reportedly, Dean was very much in love with Pierre Angeli and they planned to marry, but her mother blocked the union because Dean was not Catholic, and she helped arrange Pierre's marriage to Vic Damon. Before she committed suicide, Pierre wrote that Dean was the only man she had ever really loved. He is one of only six actors to receive an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for his first screen appearance. The other five actors are Orson Welles, Lawrence Tibbett, Alan Arkin, Paul Muni, and Montgomery Clift. As promotion for Rebel Without a Cause 1955, Dean filmed an interview with actor Gig Young for the behind the camera segment of the ABC series Warner Brothers presents in July 1955. Dean told Young, I used to fly around quite a bit. You know, I took a lot of unnecessary chances on the highway. Now, when I drive on the highway, I'm extra cautious. When asked if he had advice for young drivers, Dean concluded the interview: take it easy driving. The life you might save might be mine. Dean died soon afterward, and the interview was never aired. He was a skilled painter and excelled in art class. He suffered from very erratic mood swings, and it is believed that he may have had undiagnosed bipolar disorder. During the filming of Giant in 1956, he and Rock Hudson did not get along. This tension heightened their on-screen clashes. However, according to Hudson's ex-wife, Phyllis Gates, he cried after hearing the news of Dean's untimely death. Gates wrote, Rock couldn't be reached. He was overcome by guilt and shame, almost as though he himself had killed James Dean. He was the mentor and friend of Dennis Hopper. According to Marlon Brando, Dean would often call him, leaving messages with Brando's answering service. Brando would sometimes listen silently as Dean instructed the service to have Brando call back. Brando, disturbed that Dean was copying his lifestyle, motorcycle, bongo drums, and acting techniques, did not return his calls. The two met at least three times on the set of East of Eden 1955, on the set of Desiree 1954, and at a party, where Brando took Dean aside and told him he had emotional problems that required psychiatric attention. Before his acting career took off, Dean would often sleep in his car once he could not afford rent. President Ronald Reagan referred to Dean as America's rebel. He is the subject of the songs James Dean by Eagles and Mr. James Dean by Hilary Duff. He is mentioned in the lyrics of many other songs including Rock On by David Essex, Electrolyte by REM, Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp, Vogue by Madonna, We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel, Forever by Skid Row, American Pie by Don McLean, Speechless by Lady Gaga, A Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed, Rather Die Young by Beyonce, Choke on This by Senses Fail, Blue Jeans by Lana Del Rey, Style by Taylor Swift, and Ghost Town by Adam Lambert. On October 1997, he was ranked 33 in Empire UK's magazine's The Top 100 Movie Stars of All Time list. He was good friends with Martin Landau. He was biggest idol of Elvis Presley. His performance as Jim Stark in Rebel Without a Cause 1955 is ranked 43 on Premiere Magazine's of 100 Greatest Performances of All Time. Leonardo DiCaprio is said to have admired James Dean and mentioned that watching Dean's performance in East of Eden 1955 was one of the factors that influenced him to become an actor. He was Oscar nominated in two-thirds of his films, a record which will probably never be bettered. He also had a fondness for auto racing and had purchased the 1955 Porsche Spyder sports car, one of only 90 made of that year model, planning to participate in the upcoming races in Salinas, California on October 1st, 1955. Following his untimely death, he was interred at Park Cemetery in Fairmount, Indiana, which is nearly 2,300 miles from where he perished in his fatal car crash on the intersection leading to Colane, California. His favorite book was The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. James Franco, who played Dean in the biopic James Dean 2001, voiced the fox in the animated film adaptation of the book The Little Prince 2015. He lost his two front teeth in a motorcycle accident in his youth. Okay, let's listen to some of his memorable quotes. Only the gentle are ever really strong. Gratification comes in the doing, not in the results. Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today. If a man can bridge the gap between life and death, I mean if he can live on after his death, then maybe he was a great man. I think the prime reason for existence for living in this world is discovery. Being an actor is the loneliest thing in the world. You are all alone with your concentration and imagination, and that's all you have. My purpose in life does not include a hankering to charm society. To me, acting is the most logical way for people's neuroses to manifest themselves. The only greatness for man is immortality.